Hi, my name is Peter Lebreton-Mers, and I'm a guest choreographer for the Charlottesville Ballet. I am a professor of ballet at Point Park University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the head of ballet there. I started dance training at the Short School of the Dance in Dayton, Ohio when I was 8 years old. It became the Dayton Ballet School shortly thereafter, but the Dayton Ballet was already in existence, and I got to perform with them when I was also 8 years old. And that really started a love of ballet and performing. So I actually started choreographing when I was 12. I did my first pas de deux when I was 12, and it's a form that I have been playing with for almost 30 years now. And it's kind of my favorite. I love partnering and I love creating new and interesting shapes. This piece comes from a lifetime love of the poetry of E. E. Cummings for me, who had a wonderful way of exploring all the different ways that people relate to each other. And a phrase from one of his poems that is where the title of the piece came from is really, I think it's remarkably brilliant in its imagery. The together colored instant, which can be taken as, erotic, or it can be taken as that moment where you and another complete stranger burst into laughter at the same thing when you're watching a show. It can be any time when you have that connection with another person, and together you make a new color. I think that's just a fantastic image for humanity. I wanted to try and come up with a way to use this poem, the poem that inspired this particular duet that you're seeing is LVII 57, and I wanted to use it as the music, but without, what I find really amazing about Cummings' poetry is that it's visually stunning in and of itself. So I didn't want it to be read out loud, because that always kind of, I don't know, adds somebody else's interpretation or whatnot. So we're using the projection of the poem instead of any music or sound at all. So the only sound you'll hear is the sound of the dancers moving and dancing themselves. The accompaniment is the projection of the poem, and I've tried to shape the piece around the imagery and the rhythm of the poem. I like the fact that the words themselves have their own music, and that each person who's watching the piece can hear the words in their own head and let it be their own accompaniment for the dance. My choreographic process involves a lot of research and a lot of thinking. This is a concept, I keep files of ideas, and so this is a concept that I've had for 3 or 4 years now. It all started actually with my daughter, who is about to turn 12, who said, "You know what would be cool, Daddy? If you did a pas de deux with the dancers blindfolded." And I thought, all right, that's a challenge. And so I started thinking about, so what would the blindfold mean, and what would that signify? How would that affect the audience's response? How would that affect the choreography? So we choreographed this whole piece with the dancers wearing blindfolds, so that we wouldn't get ourselves into a sticky situation. We wouldn't do something that they couldn't do blindfolded. And without getting too specific about what the blindfold is supposed to mean, because I really like the ambiguity of art. I love when an audience member or a dancer or somebody comes back to me and says, "That piece was brilliant, it said this to me," and that is something I never thought as the creator it was about. I love that, because then again, it's not just mine, it's theirs. They've made it their own. So that part of the process, of the choreography process, I do lots and lots of research, and then I come in and I try and just get people excited about the project so that then they're bringing stuff to it as well. Coming to Charlottesville has been such a joy, and to see a group of people come together and have this vision for creating a safe and wonderful and risky and happy place and then actually make it happen is fantastic and amazing. It's a really exciting place to have been for a week, and I am really honored. This is Peter LeBreton-Mers thanking you for coming to the world premiere of my ballet, The Together Colored Instant, and I hope that you enjoy this piece as much as I enjoyed creating it for the beautiful dancers of Charlottesville Ballet.